Welcome back. You're watching Market Fatafat right here on ET. Now, let's kickstart the show then by first up introducing our analysts who are going to be joining in. Samya Sharma, ET Now's research analyst, Kunal Bothra and Swati Hodkar, technical research analyst with Nirmal Bang, now joining the show. Good morning to all of you. And let's kickstart the show first by the big Nifty gainers today in trade. The OMC stocks, HPCL, BPCL, IOC, all of them are managing to gain smartly today in trade. This after crude prices put in quite a slump overnight, a 5% decline seen in Brent at $67 per barrel. This on account of the fact that we have seen, inventories in the US increase, and at the same time, US-China trade wars as well are in focus. All of this is something that has caused crude prices to slump and in turn has had a concomitant reaction on OMCs. Kunal, let's talk about Bank of Baroda. We've seen quite a lot of traction come by in PSU banking names. Yesterday, we saw additionally a result reaction for BOB. Today, follow-up buying seen in the stock. Your view here?
Very strongly that most of the PSU banking stocks, they are now into a second stage of I would call it as a multi-week, multi-month rally. So the stocks rallied in the month of February and March, went through a phase of correction. Most of the stocks came back to their previous swing lows, and many of them just halted with a 30% retracement. Bank of Baroda is one of them which managed to retrace only marginally and is now breaking its swing resistances. That's a sign of a stock which is on a strong uptrend. Would recommend a strong buy on Bank of Baroda with a target of almost 140 to 145 range.
Okay, strong buy on BOB from Kunal. Soumya, Eros International, numbers were just about okay, but the stock certainly is rallying.
Well, yes, in fact, the stock is surging on back of the bottom line, which saw a good growth of over 14.2%. However, on the top line front, the revenues were down by over 6%. Margins also saw a contraction from 37.9 to 27.5%. Well, this was a sharp contraction as far as margins are concerned. Talking about these results, Sunil Lulla, the MD of the company, said that our margin is expanding with content-driven films, strong pre-sale strategy, catalog monetization, and now with additional presence and focus on digital, it will only enhance our offerings. So this is pretty much a good and an optimistic comment coming in from the MD. Stock gaining by over 6.4%.
Okay, well, moving on, Swati, Z Entertainment too is seeing increased traction today as well. It's higher in trade. What do you make of this move?
The overall trend on the Z Entertainment has been cautious to bearish as of, because it's just trading all the important moving averages below its 50 and 200-day moving as well. The fact is that from the last 2 weeks that it is just trading in the formation of higher tops and higher bottoms by taking a strong support of 300 levels, and we are seeing that as of now it is just trading above a 370 mark. Technically, as of now, it has a very strong support of 365. I believe this rally is likely to be continued at least towards its 50 days moving average, which comes to at 400 level. So those who are having a long positions, they can definitely hold on for an immediate target of a 400 with a trailing stop loss of 365 levels on the downside.
All right, that of course is Z Entertainment, 3% higher, and Swati is saying that there is more upside seen over here. Griha Finance, meantime, is a big news maker and a big mover as well in trade today. Remember that we are watching out this stock in context with the merger with Bandhan Bank, and today in today's trading session we saw 3.5% block trade in a block deal. 3.5% equity has changed hands in a block deal. The stock price has taken a beating. It slumped, in fact, to a one-week low of 309 rupees before recovering a tad bit from those levels. Kunal, you're flagging off more PSU banks, OBC or Orient Bank. What are you observing here?
So again, similar sort of chart patterns, Mumina, because many of the PSU banking stocks, they rallied 20 to 25%, and they corrected more than 15-20%. Oriental Bank did not cross and break its 200 moving average. In fact, it bounced exactly from those levels, I think a week or two back, and now it's the stock is turning back again. It's rising up higher. Volumes are slowly and gradually increasing for Oriental Bank, and I think that's one of the reasons why I believe this could be a more coherent move for the PSU banking name. So I think other than Bank of Baroda, Oriental Bank could be also a good buy. Positional targets of 108 and stop loss to be kept at 95.
That's the recommendation coming in then on an OBC. Swati, L&T, great move seen over here. It's often considered one of those election sensitives, but what would you recommend traders do with this stock now?
See, definitely, Bubina, as of now, the overall trend is definitely positive. From the last 2 days, the stock has given a breakout of 1440 marks. Actually, the weekly chart indicates that the stock has given a breakout of a flat patterns, and we have seen a very good rally up to 1560, 1570 levels on the higher sides. I believe this stock likely to be continued its rally towards 1600 to 1670 levels on the upside. So those who are looking for a portfolio system, definitely this is the perfect counter to take a buy call at the current level. At least 20-30% can be taken at the current level. If we are getting any tips towards 1470, 1480 levels, they can definitely add on. I'm looking for a target of 1600 and 1670 on upside. One can maintain the stop loss of a 1440 on a low levels.
Alright, so that of course is the view coming in on L&T. It's a buy from Swati. Kunal, we've been seeing some traction come by in these two-wheeler names for the last, at least 2-3 days. Today as well, it's higher. What do you make of Hero Moto?
So surprisingly, when at one point of time most of the auto stocks were correcting, they were going through a big, sort of negative news flows. Hero MotoCorp in the last, 1 week or 2 weeks have, managed to climb up from 2500 to almost 2800. So it's a rise of almost 10%. But what's more interesting on technical perspective is that the stock is nearing its 200-day moving average. Now, if the stock manages to break it, this could be almost the first strong attempt after, more than 8 or 9 months for the stock. And I think that could be a signal of a turnaround for Hero MotoCorp stock price as well. So I would keep this into the radar, and I also advise a buy at current levels, and if the stock breaks its 200 moving average, just add on to the quantity there. Targets of 3000 could be almost possible for the stock price.
Alright, that of course is Hero Moto, 2.3% higher. Swati, Ashok Leyland is expected to come out with its fourth quarter numbers today. Ahead of that, what sort of traction are you seeing in the stock?
See, overall view on the Ashok Leyland has been cautious because fact that it's just hovering its 50 days moving average. As of now, it has a very strong resistance at 92 odd levels. If it manages to give a breakout of that level, then definitely the fresh rally is likely to be extended towards at least minimum at 100 levels or 105 levels. So at the current level, I will suggest to just hold on. If it's giving a breakout of 92 levels, then definitely one can take a long positions with a stop loss of 89 rupees on a downside for immediate target of 100 levels on the upside.
Okay, that's Ashok Leyland, 2% higher, and it's a buy from Swati on this auto stock as well. Soumya, GIC, how were the numbers for this insurance company?
Well, talking about GIC, I would say they were pretty much mixed. On the gross written premium, we saw a degrowth of over 5%. The profits saw and dipped by over 20%, and this was on account of higher provisions for ILNFS situation. And what was pretty much impressive was the company made an underwriting profit of over 157.8 crore versus a loss of 1,219 crore in the last year. Even the combined ratio for the company improved, as well as the solvency ratio. So a mixed set of numbers reported by GIC, General Insurance Corporation.
Alright, so that of course is GIC Housing. After all the give and take, it's now tempered, it's 0.4% down. Okay, well, moving on, Swati, one more result or rather in anticipation of the results is JSW Steel. You have a sell here, why is that?
Yeah, because as of now the view is cautious on the JSW Steel. The stock is just trading below its 50 days and 100 days moving average, and we are continuously facing a selling pressures on all the metal counters. So I'm just giving a sell call at the current level, or say one can sell below 275 levels for an immediate target of a 255 with a stop loss of a 285 on the upside.
That's JSW Steel ahead of the numbers, 0.9% higher. Meantime, take a look at Yes Bank. It's among the top Nifty gainers today in trade, and this is on account of the fact that, well, yes, we're seeing a continued momentum after yesterday, but CLSA has actually has turned a little optimistic on the stock after putting the ratings under review for a very long time. Now they have an outperformed stance, as they believe that at 140 odd rupees, the risk-reward ratio has turned out to be quite favorable. But the next 2-3 quarters are going to be crucial for the bank's stressed loan pool. So we are seeing an uptick come by in Yes Bank. Swati, I think the reaction of a lower crude price is seen on some of these upstream companies. ONGC today is losing 1.5%.
See, from the last 2 days we are witnessing that the ONGC is facing a very strong resistance at 180 odd levels, and where even the market was performing very well, but these are the counters are not doing very well. So at the current level, I am just looking that if it manages to give a breakdown of a 168 levels, and this selling pressure is likely to be intensified, which might take a stocks towards at least 155 levels, which comes to 800, it's 50 days moving average. So one can definitely take a short positions below 168 with for a target of a 155, and the stop loss one can place at 175 levels on the upside.
Okay, so that's the recommendation then coming in on an ONGC. Soumya, how are the fourth quarter numbers for e-clerks?
Well, on the revenue, we saw a growth of 4.4% on a sequential basis. Patch saw a sharp growth of over 44.6% compared to the last quarter. Well, this was mainly driven by margin expansion. In Q4, the margins recovered, while in Q3, we saw a sharp downtick as far as margins are concerned. We even talked to the management of e-clerks. Well, he said that there seemed softness in over client base in top 10 client bases, wherein the revenues remained flat, and even the BSFI commentary of the industry players remains muted and weak. But the stocks gaining pretty much on back of sharp growth in profits, higher by over 2%.
All right, and let's talk about the next stock in focus, that's JMC Projects. The company has announced that it has secured new orders worth 616 crore rupees. These are spread across residential, commercial projects in South India, and you are seeing quite a rise come by in the stock price, 8.5% higher, in fact, as we speak for this company.